Hello, welcome back to the A Girl and Her Wool and Fibonacci YouTube channel. We are excited to have you here and back if you're back, and welcome if you're new. So because it's Friday, I wanted to show you guys a finished object that I have in honor of Faux Friday. So if you don't know, faux or FO stands for finished object, and I recently finished my time trade shawl. So this is the shawl, and it's pretty long, so I'll show it here from end to end. But this is the time trade shawl, which is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, also known as Boyland Knitworks. And it is a rectangular shawl that's knit, you can see on the bias here, which means that you're essentially increasing on one side and decreasing on the other of each row. And it has this lace pattern that's repeated throughout it. And then it has some sections of garter striping. So this pattern was a super fast knit for me. I was able to memorize the pattern for it, which meant that I was able to take this with me everywhere. And so it's about, I keep forgetting, it's probably about an 8 or 10 row repeat, but it's really really straightforward, a couple of yarn overs and decreases, and so very easy to memorize, very easy to take around with me, and that meant that it knit up super fast. Really all that I had to do was look up how many repeats I was going to do or how many garter rows I had to do if I was in a garter section. Okay, and you can see how the design of this pattern starts with a gradient, and so you're alternating between one color in the lace pattern and then the next color in the gradient in the striping. And you do that a few times, and then you get into your two contrast colors. So you have one color that you primarily use for the garter sections, and then the other color you use for the lace. And that is actually what the bulk of that shawl is. And you really could knit this pattern with just those two colors, and you could do this section in the same way where you have one color in the lace and one color in the garter, or you can get that nice pop of color there. You could probably do this with just one color if you wanted to, or you could probably even add more colors later on too. So I think it's an easy pattern in that sense because you really do just have repeats over and over again, and I think you could play with color if you wanted to. And one thing that I'm really enjoying about this shawl is that it's really large, but when you wear it, it doesn't feel super heavy. So because of all of the lace in there and how open it is, it actually wears pretty light. So let me throw it on quickly. Okay, so you can see the gradient side here, and it's wrapped. So here's the gradient side, and that kind of shows once you wrap it around, and then you have the other two colors in the pattern later on. So again, even though it's a huge shawl, it doesn't wear super heavy. Like, it's very light, it's warm, but I think it's a really great piece. Right now I'm wearing leggings and a tunic, and I think that it fits really well with that. It's kind of like that light spring or fall type wear, or really just like a dress up piece if you're in a casual outfit at home like I am today. So let me take this back off. I knit this shawl in A Girl and Her Wool yarn, my hand-dyed yarn, and there are 5 colors here in the gradient. You use about 20 grams of each color, and this is the rose part of my rose gold gradient, and then my other 2 contrast colors or main colors are Overnight Oats, which is my neutral here, and Golden Hour, which is the brown gold. And overall I definitely recommend knitting this pattern. I think it came out so beautiful, and again, like I said, it it's my first rectangular shawl, and I was a little bit nervous about how wearable that was. I usually do crescent shawls or triangular shawls where you get a bulk of it in the front and it covers you and keeps you warm. But this actually is pretty wearable too. So I'm very excited about that. And then I wanted to just talk through the yarn that I have in my shop for this. So again, I use my own yarn for this, and this one was kit 1, and I'm just making sure that I'm calling it the right one. So kit 1, and I have the yarn here so I can show you, so this is my rose gold gradient. If you haven't already, check out my video on dyeing a gradient. It is my fairy shadow gradient, but I do talk about this one a lot in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this section of it is the section that I used for my shawl, and then the 2 contrast colors is Overnight Oats, which is a good beige neutral that has some grays and some cream color in there, and then Golden Hour, which I have a 50-gram skein of. So this was kit 1, and this is what I used in my shawl. But I also have 2 other kits. So the other kit, kit 2, uses the gold side of my rose gold gradient in addition with Pinot Noir, which is the darkest of this gradient, and then also Overnight Oats. So if you look at my shawl, it really just changes the gradient. So you'd be having the golds and browns in this part, and then the stripes would be in the rose part. So then if you want something completely different, my third kit uses my 5 skein version of my rose gold kit, which is hard to show on here, but you get some of the rose in there, and then it'll go into the gold, and I'll put a picture in here of that 5 skein version, but you can see it there. So you get the rose gold gradient in that gradient section, and then you get Overnight Oats and Black Hole as your 2 contrast colors. And you really could choose which one you want to use where. If it were me, I'd probably do the same thing. I like the neutral for the main lace part, and then the black for the garter striping. So that would be that one. So those are the 3 kits, and part of the reason why I wanted to show those 3 kits to you is because I'm so excited that I'm posting about this finished object. So it's here on my vlog. You can also check out a post on my blog that's now up, and also on my Instagram. My Instagram is agirlandherwool. The blog is at agirlandherwool.com/blog. And if you go on either of those sources, you'll see I've actually offered a discount for my time trade shawl kits for just today and tomorrow, Friday the 28th and Saturday the 29th, and you can get different amounts depending on where you go. So I urge you to go check those out and see the best deal you can get. And yeah, so I'm just excited about this pattern, and I wanted to share it with everyone. So please go check out the kits in the shop. You can find the shop if you go through agirlandherwool.com or straight through Etsy at agirlandherwool.etsy.com. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this faux Friday. I'm hoping to post these most Fridays. There's no way that I'll have a finished object every Friday, but I have a few stacked up right now, so I should have them for the next few weeks. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get alerted whenever I post one. All right, have a great weekend. Bye.